Is this marker a key in how to solve the New Orleans puzzle? This marker is proof the dig location is in Lafayette Square. The NOLA puzzle is a tricky one because there doesn't seem to be any specific steps or directions in the verse to take us to where X marks the spot as in some of the other puzzles. It seems to want to drop us into a location, and the searcher really has to use the image and the sparse verbal clues provided. Based on my investigation of this puzzle, I am certain Lafayette Square is where the casque is buried. Here are my findings for the Geodetic Stone. This Geodetic Stone marker is located in Lafayette Square in New Orleans. Anyone familiar with the NOLA puzzle knows the numbers in the corners of the clock image, 29 and 90, correspond with the latitude and longitude numbers found on this stone marker placed in the park in 1880 by the U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey. If you turn this marker on its right side, those same numbers are in their respective corners in the clock image. See how the engraved letters on marker and marbling seem to form the clock image? Look at arrow at bottom and compare the chip in stone to mark an image. When this marker stone is turned upside down, the lightened marking in the stone, circled area, is a pretty close match to the lightened area in our clock face. This anomaly, along with the marbling of the square clock face and the matching numbers, is all proof the dig location is in Lafayette Square. The U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey began in 1807 and was responsible for mapping and charting the coasts of the United States. It was under the direction and supervision of the U.S. Navy at that time and was later granted authority to survey inland in 1871. I am not suggesting that this information about the U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey and its history is required to solve the New Orleans puzzle. I want to point out a subtle clue within the image and how this marker may be key for what is needed to figure out a dig spot, since the verse itself does not offer a step-by-step guide as in some of the other puzzles in the book. In this part of the clock's big hand there appears to be what most searchers believe, and it does, look like an anchor. Could this possibly be a reference to the U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey? If so, why and what does it mean? Is this a hint for how to solve this puzzle? Here you can see the similarities in the Masonic square with the emblem for the U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey. Is the importance of the square, compass, and geometry in relation to its usage for surveying and methodology used a key to finding the dig location? When the USC and GS began, a Swiss immigrant Ferdinand Hassler was selected to lead the survey. He submitted a plan to use triangulation in the surveys for accuracy. Triangulation is the process of determining the location of a point by forming triangles to the point from known points, and is one of the 5 fundamental techniques used in land surveying. There's a reason the newsboy in the image is positioned the way he is. The upward-facing arm and his eyes looking left are creating a right angle. The key is to find what the arm represents while standing on the correct spot and looking left for the other object of alignment. When you find the proper clues and their alignment, his other arm is telling us what to do: dig. There also must be a reason why the numbers 29 and 90 were put in the corners of the clock. We know those numbers represent the longitude and latitude numbers found on the marker stone, but why in clear sight? In the other puzzle images, they were obscured or hidden in some way. I believe the 90 is an additional clue representing a 90-degree angle. As far as the 19 in the upper left corner, I do not have an absolute theory or explanation for that. However, when I found my dig spot and did approximate measurements from my fixed objects creating a right angle, they were approximately 57 feet, or 19 yards from those points. In the verse for the NOLA puzzle, it specifically indicates the Namesakes meeting near this site. I believe that to mean the searcher needs to triangulate from something sharing the same name in order to determine the dig site. My dig spot is within the photo above. See how I came up with this location along with my evidence in my other YouTube videos, and why I believe in no men theory, gnomes admire, in conjunction with triangulation is needed to reveal the clues hidden within the image and to a dig spot.